Good afternoon. Welcome to the Plymouth Municipal Airport. I'm Plymouth County Treasurer Tom O'Brien, and we're here today to present a check for $2.25 million to the Town of Plymouth through the Plymouth County ARPA program. You folks will recall that about a year ago, U.S. Congress passed and the President signed into law the American Rescue Plan Act. And it was designed to do a number of things to help America recover from the pandemic and the crisis that we've been dealing with over the last 2 years. One of those specific uses of ARPA funds was to repair wastewater treatment facilities and wastewater treatment pipes. And so this is the perfect use for the program. We're thrilled to be here in the Town of Plymouth. This is only the second check presentation through the Plymouth County Cares ARPA program, and it is so far the largest check presentation here in the Town of Plymouth. They run a great airport here, and we've thoroughly appreciated the partnership that we have at the federal level, at the state level, at the local level, and here with the airport. We have a number of dignitaries that I know want to say a few words, because this doesn't happen without that teamwork, without all of those folks cooperating and contributing and helping along the way. Plymouth County has been grateful for the support we've received from every step of the government and every step of the way. I'm going to start with one of my dear friends, the Senior Advisor and State Director for U.S. Senator Ed Markey, Jim Cantwell. Jim?
Tom, thank you, sir.
There at the podium if you need them.
No, thank you very much. On behalf of Senator Ed Markey, I apologize that he could not be here. He's in D.C. right now as they continue to fight to try to get as many resources back to Plymouth and to all of Massachusetts. I have the great honor of working for Senator Markey, and as Tom had mentioned, ARPA is one of the signature issues that Congress was able to do in a mostly bipartisan fashion to bring funds that could come back and be able to help our communities. And we're so proud knowing there's a lot of the tackling and the difficulties locally of government that people forget about. And really for this program to bring funds back, we know ARPA was going to be helping in part, would help for the healthcare issues that came out of COVID. It could help with revenue replacement. I know Plymouth does such a phenomenal job, but you know, when there are things that you had to expend, so you'd have some funds that could be there. There are ways for frontline workers that you could help, broadband, but also wastewater, and this being the most important thing we're talking about here today. What I want to stress, first of all, is the partnership, and this being the first grant, as Tom had mentioned, to be able to come to Plymouth to help for this very significant water treatment issue. But also, mostly when we come every time, we want to stress the partnership. Because all people typically hear is maybe the problems that are happening in D.C. These grant opportunities, when we come, it's to show how effective government gets done. And no one proves it more than the gentleman over my right shoulder here, Tom O'Brien. Tom, what you are doing, and Mr. Chairman, what you're able to do with the county commissioners, that way it was controversial, some of the use of funds, but the fact that you were able to make sure to take funds and get them out quickly to our communities is something that has been noted now down in D.C., working with our great partners in the legislature, Sue Moran, who I know is in session as we speak, right, going on, and Matt Muratori, Kathy Lenatra, all the selectmen, everyone represented here, just to show really how we're working at the federal, state, and local level. So it's my honor to be here today. I apologize, I was running late. Tom told me I couldn't speed coming down, so I had to drive at the regular speed, put me back a little bit. But the best thing when we say we're speeding, we're trying to speed as much money to come back here to Plymouth and to all of Massachusetts. It's my great honor to be here today. Look forward to speaking to each of you after this speaking program. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Jim. And I'm particularly pleased that you could be here representing U.S. Senator Markey. We've had a chance to talk to the Senator and Senator Warren and Congressman Keating. Senator Warren and Congressman Keating couldn't be here. But the thing that they really like about these opportunities is as they sit up on Capitol Hill and take these votes, they don't often get to see where their money goes, the money that they voted on and approved, how that's being spent. So we really appreciate you taking the time out of a very busy schedule to make it here. I'm glad you didn't speed, but we're better off because you and the senators and our congressmen have participated. We're also thrilled because we have a fantastic state delegation. I know I used to be a part of the delegation, but I'm thrilled with the team that has been put together here representing the town of Plymouth, and they have been supportive as well. Jim Cantwell mentioned some of the initial, let's say, skepticism about the administrator of these funds at the local level, at the county level, and quite candidly, we have exceeded expectations, not just here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, but as Jim mentioned, at a national level, we've received national awards for administration of the CARES and the ARPA program. That doesn't happen unless we have the support of our state delegation every step of the way. Nobody's been more supportive than our State Senator Sue Moran. Sue?
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Tom. Incredible team here. I want to use my couple of minutes just to talk about the background of how these projects come to be. And I'm going to go, we've sort of gone to the right, I'm going to go to my left here. The foresight, the commitment, the hard work, and the vision of the administration of the airport at every level is going to really bring us into the next century in terms of pivoting workers, in terms of, I was here not too long ago and saw just an incredible plane that is going to be right here, and students are going to be able to work on those. That kind of practical experience doesn't happen without tremendous amount of pre-planning, understanding what the future is about, and being able to use relationships and resources in the best possible way. And that leadership and vision is so commendable. That's one of the great reasons I'm proud to be here today, along with the team, who I will let forward the rest of the comments. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Senator. And thank you for taking time. We know you're in session, and we really appreciate you making the time to come down here, because it shows how important we are to you and to your team. I think Washington could learn a lesson from us here in the town of Plymouth. The bipartisan cooperation that we get is significant. And this gentleman is a friend of mine. I've known him for a long time, and he's a significant value add to every effort we have to bring these resources back to the town of Plymouth. I am, of course, speaking of our state representative, Matt Muratori. Matt?
Thank you, Tom, and thank you to you, Commissioner, and the entire commission for what you've been doing, really bringing funds to the town of Plymouth and all the towns in our Commonwealth. In our county. But I also want to thank the commissioners here for your foresight and what you've been doing, not just for this, but everything you've been doing over the last several years. This airport is well thought of in the Commonwealth. It's really highly thought of, and it's because of your leadership. It's because of Tom's leadership, and congratulations, Tom, on his retirement. I'm glad we're doing this today, the day before he retires, so we can get him credit for this. But it's been Tom's leadership and your leadership that's really brought us to this point. And it's easy to support people that have the foresight and the wisdom to do the right thing and do what's best for the people in the area. So thank you for what you're doing. And again, thank you for what you guys are doing and what you continue to do.
I mentioned earlier that I had the pleasure and distinction of serving as a state representative for the town of Plymouth, or part of the town of Plymouth, for 10 years. And I always worried what might happen in successive years. However, given the success of this fine lady, I had nothing to worry about at all. She has exceeded all expectations, and that's hard to do because they were pretty high to begin with. She is a valued partner of our entire team, my dear friend, Representative Kathy Lenatra.
It's such a pleasure to be here. It's always great when Tom introduces me because it's so glowing and I just might leave with my head this big. But I had a wonderful opportunity to have a visit here at Plymouth Airport. I think it was during the pandemic. And not only can you fly out of here, but it is a hub for Plymouth. There's so many educational opportunities here, and this is just going to help it flourish even more and continue to be the bright light that it is here in Plymouth. As always, thank you to the commissioners. Plymouth County has been amazing. This is, I understand, the largest check we've received here in Plymouth, so I'm so happy to be here to help present this check to all of you. So thank you for all involved.
Thank you, Representative. And as has been mentioned, this doesn't happen without the diligence of the town. Of course, it starts here with the Plymouth Municipal Airport and the fine leadership of the board and, of course, of Tom Marr over the years. But the town recognizes what a jewel they have here. And we're thrilled to be joined by one of the selectmen, Charlie Bletzer, and the town manager, Derek is here as well. I think they chatted earlier, and Derek, I think, is going to be the one saying a few words on behalf of the town. But I do want folks to know that the application process is fairly rigorous. There are a lot of things that need to be done. Plymouth County and the federal government doesn't just hand out $2.25 million without a robust application. Plymouth was very quick, very thorough. It's a credit to your team, and Charlie, I want you to know what a great team you have at Plymouth Town Hall making sure that this happens. So they filled out the application, got it through a 3-step review process, so we're here today to give Plymouth $2.25 million. On behalf of the town of Plymouth, the town manager, Derek.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. And so I'm going to turn the acceptance of the check over to Selectman Bledsoe, who's here today. They do the big work, taking the money. So, but before we go to the ceremony, I want to recognize Mr. Cantwell for being here from Senator Markey's office, who's done great work. We've been working together in my short tenure here on issues around the nuclear power plant and others. So thank you for coming down from Boston. I really appreciate that. And I want to recognize our state delegation. It seems like every time I go somewhere to accept money, our state delegation's here helping us accept that money. So Senator Moran, thank you. Rep. Lenatra and Rep. Muratori, thank you for being here. We greatly appreciate it. And then to our commissioners. Again, we've had the opportunity to have a number of conversations as we think about Tom's retirement, how we're going to continue that great work into decades to come. So thank you for being here. We appreciate all your support. But I want to recognize a few folks in particular. So Lynn Barrett, our finance director, Jonathan Beater, our public works director, and Tom Mara, our airport manager, they're the ones that actually really did all the hard work, right? They're the ones that came together. They recognized this as a priority. They recognized that this was a need. And most importantly, they recognized that if we are able to take advantage of these ARPA funds, it'll help mitigate rising taxes to our residents. It'll help mitigate the wastewater sewer rates to those ratepayers. So again, kudos to them for the work that they put into this, recognizing this and taking advantage of this funding opportunity. And last, I just want to recognize Commissioner Valenzola. Thank you so much, you and your team, for giving these funds to the town of Plymouth. We appreciate your support, we appreciate your assistance, and we'll be coming back for more. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Derek. At this point, I usually recognize the commissioners. Unfortunately, 2 could not join us. Commissioner Chair Wright, Sandy Wright is unable to make it, as was Commissioner Hanley. Commissioner Valenzola is here. However, I'm going to deviate from the program. I'm just saying this so he knows I didn't forget him. But we are joined by the Plymouth Airport Commission. I know that the chair, Ken Fosdick, would like to say a few words about this particular program and about how they're going to spend $2.25 million. Ken?
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer. First, thank you. Thank you, commissioners. We really appreciate it. Thank you, representatives and town employees and select people. It wouldn't have started if the town had not gotten involved and initiated this program with Tom. So we greatly appreciate that. We feel like we have a great little airport here, and it's not little, but we work very hard at it. And your words earlier, Mr. O'Brien, was, and repeated in several cases, we work very hard to coordinate with federal, state, and local people. And we've really been the beneficiary of that relationship over the past few years. And we wouldn't be the great little airport we are today if it hadn't been for that. So this grant, this money to help our infrastructure, which is what it's all about, is truly appreciated, and we greatly appreciate you being here and doing it for us. So thank you.
Thank you very much. We're happy to be here as well and look forward to supporting this project. I mentioned that this doesn't happen without the support of the Plymouth County Commissioners. It's all very well for me to serve as a master of ceremonies, to be the one that writes out the check, but without them stepping up to the plate and saying, yes, we're going to take and administer the Plymouth County CARES program, we're going to take and administer the Plymouth County ARPA program. Now, Treasurer O'Brien, you do all the work. This wouldn't happen. And it really was not an easy decision early on. It took a lot of courage. But they stepped up to the plate. They have been a pleasure to work with. I'd like to introduce Commissioner Jared Valenzola.
Thank you, Treasurer O'Brien. I'll echo the sentiments of this airport. This airport experience today is a lot more pleasant than my experience at Newark International late last week. So we're getting the airports back in good esteem in my view. I just want to quickly say on behalf of the county commissioners, it is certainly our pleasure to be here to be able to administer this program. And as I've said often in the 18 months since I was sworn in, to be able to bring just a little bit of good news in what's been a constant barrage of bad news has certainly been an honor for us as a board to be able to do that for Plymouth, for our member communities. I again want to echo the sentiments of Treasurer O'Brien as it relates to my colleagues. Certainly a lot of work goes into these applications, and of course compliment Treasurer O'Brien and his staff as well. He's very modest in the level of work and diligent detail that goes into approving these funds. One of the things that we were proud of and made sure we did with the CARES Act, and certainly intend on replicating with ARPA, was when we hand you this check today, it's been done, dusted, vetted, you deposit it in the bank, and there is not going to be a single issue. There were plenty of horror stories across the Commonwealth with CARES, and I'm sure we'll start to see some with ARPA, of the Commonwealth giving you the money, giving you the regulations, and then realizing 6 months later, oh shoot, we need that money back. And that doesn't happen, again, without the real diligent work of Treasurer O'Brien and his team, and I really want to compliment him. To our legislative delegation, Rep. Lenatra, Rep. Muratori, Senator Moran, again, it's always a pleasure to be out here with you folks and to be able to share in what has been our great accomplishment. Mr. Cantwell from Senator Markey, I don't know if you're supposed to still call you representative, right? From Senator Markey's office, and of course, Select Board Member Bletzer, Derek from the Town of Plymouth. It's been a great partnership, and I think it absolutely demonstrates the work that we do to make our communities a better place. And again, it's just a pleasure to be here. Congratulations on your impending retirement as well. And I'm certainly looking forward to taking more flights out of Plymouth. No more out of Newark.
Everyone has commented how much we love the podium that we've been provided with here. I think Representative Lenatra is hoping we can take it with us. I don't think that's going to be allowed. A moment of personal privilege, if I might, before the moment we've come to a witness, which is the handing over of the check. I had a chance to chat with this gentleman earlier, Tom Marr, the manager of the Plymouth Municipal Airport. I mentioned that I started as a state representing a very small portion of this part of Plymouth, but it was this part of Plymouth. This was in my state rep district. And Tom and I got to work very closely and worked with then Congressman Bill Dellhunt to bring a landing system to the Plymouth Municipal Airport. So I feel as though I've come full circle. And Tom, it's appropriate the day before your retirement that we're giving a check to rehabilitate, refurbish, and redo the Plymouth Municipal Airport wastewater treatment facility. I think you've come full circle as well. What a great job you've done serving this airport for, I think, 16 years, 27 years? 27 years. That's remarkable, and it doesn't happen without you. So on behalf of all of us assembled here on both sides of the podium, thank you for your years of service, a dedicated service to the airport and to the town of Plymouth and to the region. And please note, this is, of course, a regional project. How better suited to serve the people of this area that fly in and out of this airport than to make sure their treatment facility plant is upgraded and renovated to the way that it should be. So at this point, I'm going to ask Selectman Bletzer to come forward, Tom Marr to come forward, and then the electeds and the others to come, and I'll present a check for $2.25 million to the town of Plymouth.
A common theme of mine when I speak, and I'm so proud, is that working together for Plymouth is a common theme. We were just down at the waterfront a couple of weeks ago with the Lieutenant Governor. Same thing, everybody working together. And today is a great example of the federal, state delegation, our county delegation, our town select boards, everybody working together for Plymouth. And I think this is fantastic. And for the residents, and I want to thank the county for this on behalf of all the residents in Plymouth. And anybody that doesn't realize the importance of this airport, you should come up here and really take a look at it. We're a transportation gateway to Plymouth. The revenue is $500,000 or more in tax revenue that comes out of this airport for the town. There's over 250 jobs at this airport, and it's just a great facility. So I just, if anybody in town has not come up here, please come up. There's a great restaurant here too, and just take a look at this facility, and I'm proud of it. And we're lucky enough, the select board, that we get to appoint the commission. And I'll tell you, this is a great commission. I wasn't part of probably some of these appointments, but I'm proud of everybody that's here, and I look forward to future appointments on this commission and keep the quality that we have. So anyway, I just want to thank the county, federal, state, everybody for working together. This $2.25 million is going to help with the infrastructure here, and it's going to take the burden off the taxpayers. Thank you.
Well, and of course, we want to thank PAC TV for covering this event. We do appreciate you folks taking the time to be here, and of course, the folks from print media, the Old Colony Memorial, for covering the event as well. So thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of a beautiful day, and I hope I kept to my time limit, Representative Muratori. Fantastic. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Very nice to meet you.
Yep, that's great. Thank you.
Very nice to meet you as well. Thank you so much.